Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Construction Record Podcast. I'm digital media editor Warren Frey, and today I have with me
Anthony Henry, first vice president of the Walnut Foundation.
and
Ivan Dons from the International Union of Painters and Allied Trade, District Council 46, and the honorary chair of the Walnut Walkathon.
okay, and that's what we're going to talk about today, and prostate cancer generally. But as background to that, Anthony, what is the Walnut Foundation? How did it get started, and what's its purpose?
Yeah, so the Walnut Foundation is a men's health support group. It primarily started around, building awareness around prostate cancer. It was founded by a gentleman who was Dr. Winston Isaac. He was the head of the School of Health Sciences Management at Ryerson University.
Mhm.
So when he was diagnosed and he felt like, hey, I'm in the space, the healthcare space, I feel so much like a fish out of water, so to speak. What about the other men type thing? And so after he was treated, he set about creating the Walnut Foundation to provide support for men in a safe space where they could talk, openly among themselves about their journey, about treatment options, about, their feelings, and just how to navigate the healthcare system and improve health outcomes for themselves.
And is it specifically aimed at Black men because they're at greater risk according to the website?
Yes, so Black men are, twice as likely to die from prostate cancer. More likely to have negative or poor outcomes. We tend to present to the medical care system when the disease is more advanced. And so the idea or the work of the Walnut Foundation is geared to helping to improve or bring some equity to outcomes. And we feel we could do that through education and outreach to different segments, such as, what we're trying to do here by involving Ivan Downs this year and trying to get the union movement involved in the whole discussion and debate around prostate cancer.
Yeah, let me just jump in, Ivan, on that, because construction is where we come into this, and where you come into this. Basically, there are a lot of older men in the construction industry, so this is going to affect them. So maybe you could speak to that.
Yes, the construction union mainly made up of men. There's a lot of women in it, but most of our members are men. And for many times I've been to a funeral for my members that died from prostate cancer. And oftentimes is when it's too late, they found out about it. They actually know about it because men in general have a way of trying to feel macho and don't get their prostate checked. And that's why I get involved with this, so I can bring the awareness to my members, and not just my members, to members in general of the union about the danger of not being tested and get it, and chances of we can die from that.
And the Walkathon is the sort of the main event for this, and I think that's in the summer. But maybe you could, either of you, speak to what that's all about and how much response you get out of it.
So the Walkathon itself is our main fundraiser and awareness builder each year. We're in our 9th year now, and so we don't get funding. We're 100% volunteer based, and so this is our main fundraising effort each year, and also our main awareness building effort. Right. I know one thing I should say about prostate cancer is that it's no respecter of men. So we are all impacted as we get older. The prostate grows, right? And so we end up with challenges like enlarged prostate, BPH, which is not cancer, and as well as prostate cancer itself.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So for all men, it's important for them to get checked early. The recommendation for the general population is that men get tested, begin getting that PSA blood test at age 50,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because of the particular situation with the Black community, the recommendation is that we start getting tested at age 40.
Mm-hmm.
That's the recommendation. So, we hope that, the men who are listening out there of whatever stripe would take this information with care, start being more proactive about their health and getting checked. For all men, age 50. For Black men, start earlier. So critical. That message needs to get out there. We have men in our group who've been treated for prostate cancer. Some 5, 10, 15, 20 plus years post-treatment.
Mm-hmm.
So if we can get to the men early, and this is what this whole dialogue and messaging is all about, and trying to get the union movement involved, is that the prostate cancer has impacted all of us. So in that sense, we're all in this together. And in a proactive way, Ivan is here to help amplify that message
Mm-hmm.
In the union movement, not just the Black community.
I guess I should speak to that, Ivan. Well, I was going to say also, when it's treated early, it is pretty treatable, right? I think it's one of the cancers. If you catch it quick, you can sort of nip it in the bud. Not to use improper terms there. I'm no medical expert, but anyway, I was going to say, Ivan, in terms of what's the response from your union membership and just generally in construction that you found?
Okay. First, let me start about why I want to get involved in this.
Mm-hmm.
With this. My grandfather had prostate cancer. My dad have a swollen prostate. My uncle in England in the pandemic died from prostate cancer. Oh. So that tells me that I have a high risk of having prostate cancer myself. And I've been to, far too often I've been to my members' funeral. And the one just past summer, I went to one that died from prostate cancer. And it's amazing that, when I say amazing, I don't mean it in a good way, that is this common theme amongst all of them. They didn't get tested. The wife would say, my husband refused to get tested. My good friend lost his brother, and he keeps telling his brother, why don't you go and get tested? Our father died from prostate cancer. Why don't you? And he refused. When he found out, he only have 3 months to live. So this tells me that I have to be a part of it. The more of my members I can reach, and not just only IUPAT members, but members from the Carpenters Union, the Plumbers Union, to get everybody to be a part of this conversation. This conversation impact everyone. Prostate cancer it's a men's disease, but it affects women indirectly, because I watch my grandmother, how she dealt with my grandfather. I watch my mother. I watch my aunts, how they deal with it. And it also affects them. Yeah, they did not have the cancer themselves, but might as well they do, because the way they were. So it affects all of us. So the conversation is for everyone. And that's why with the Walkathon, I'm encouraging women to come out also, because I want, they are the one that are going to get to their uncle, to their father, to their brother, and say, listen, you guys need to go get tested, because maybe with the woman in their family and their back, telling them, you got to do this. Then
fair enough. And Anthony, what have you seen in terms of, like, you've been doing this a few years now, have you seen an impact in terms of less people coming down with the disease, or people signing up, that kind of thing?
So in terms of impact, I would say we're getting more calls now about this. For example, the way it would work is a man is diagnosed. He's got all this information being thrown at him, biopsy, PSA, Gleason scores, surgery, brachytherapy, and on it goes. And it can be very overwhelming, right? And so if you can come to a space like the Walnut Foundation, where you can talk to men who've been diagnosed or who've been treated previously, so they can help you through your journey. And that's what we're trying to build there. And so that's why we're happy to go out and talk to different groups, church groups, a domino group, a soccer group, men's soccer, whatever. We're, willing to go out and talk, because we think that, by engaging men, by talking, we can really make a difference with this disease.
And the next question is for both of you. What kind of support and response have you seen for the construction industry? And is this the first time you've engaged the construction industry, or is it this is a years-long process?
So it's the first time we've reached out to the union movement. As to we're hopeful based on the initial feedback, from Ivan. I mean, he's so enthusiastic and gung-ho. So already that's a positive. And I'm sure, we will get some support there this year. Again, as I said, this is the first time that we've engaged a union movement, because we think the union movement can be a very important part of this discussion and this education effort.
And I guess finally, if people want to know more about the Walnut Foundation, the Walkathon, and most importantly, where to get checked out, what should they do, and if they're interested in getting more information?
So more information can be found at the www.thewalnutfoundation.com, or they can email info@thewalnutfoundation.com, and we will get back to them from there. The Walkathon will be held on Saturday, June the 3rd, 2023, from 8 o'clock in the morning till about noon. Will be held in Brampton, along the Etobicoke Creek trails. The staging area begins behind Loafers Lake Rec Center at 30 Loafers Lake Lane in Brampton.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot for joining us today, guys.
Thanks for having us, and look forward to seeing many of your members out, and for some support from your union. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.